All right, folks. Hi. My name is Stephanie Broussard. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Recruitment for Lamar University. I specialize in flexible on-campus and hybrid programs. And I am pretty much the person that when you're ready to pursue a graduate degree at Lamar, I would be your first point of contact, and I pretty much help you through the whole admissions process from the application to, we need these transcripts, you're in review, congratulations, you've been accepted, and this is the person that you need to talk to in order to get enrolled. I pretty much assist students throughout the whole admissions process. Today we have a very special guest. We have our MBA Director, Jeff Dyson. He's going to give us some information about our MBA program. We have several different concentrations. This is one of our big major programs. We have it on campus and we offer it online. And I wanted to make sure and invite everyone that I could, because this is a program that a lot of people ask questions about. So what we're going to do is, if you have questions about, as he goes through his presentation, if you have questions, if you want to kind of zoom in or you want him to expound on something, just go ahead and put it in the chat. You can send it directly to me. You can send your message directly to me, or you can send it for everyone to see. If it's something personal, I would want you to send it directly to me so that everyone's not seeing your personal questions. And at the end of the presentation, I will ask him those questions and he'll answer them live for us on air here so that you can have all the answers that you need. Also, I also do little thank you gifts, little giveaways throughout my graduate series sessions. So if you would like to get a little graduate or a little thank you gift from me, you can drop your email address in the chat box. And after the session, I'll email you and ask you for your physical address, and I'll send you Lamar bumper stickers, and I have all kind of little stickers and pins, and I have all kind of stuff because it's just kind of sitting in my trunk right now. So I'll make sure that I'll send everyone a thank you note that drops me their email address in the chat. Let me make sure we have everyone in. Folks are still going to be joining us throughout the presentation, but like I said, we are recording this because it's going to be on our website, on our visit page later. So I want to make sure that we protect everyone's privacy. Your mics are going to be muted and your cameras are going to be off. And if you do have questions, just send them to me in the chat. All right. So I don't see our ASL person here or our closed caption person. So, Mr. Dyson, I'm going to go ahead and get started if you'd like. Everyone, I give you the esteemed Mr. Dyson, our MBA program.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. I seldom do an introduction like that. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. I'm very excited about our discussion today. I'm going to take just a minute to get my slide deck going here. And then I'm going to ask Stephanie to confirm that you guys can see everything okay. Stephanie, does that look good to you?
Yes, right there. That's perfect. That's
great.
Perfect.
All right. So just very, very brief introduction on me. I am a Lamar MBA from a long time ago. I'm one of these people that got to live the dream. I got to own and run my own business for 30 years. I got to pass my 80-hour-a-week job on to my oldest son a number of years ago, and come to Lamar and sort of teach and give back. And I'm still involved with my family company, but mostly I'm here, and I'm here in our college teaching in the management department. I teach strategy, HR stuff, entrepreneurship, general management courses, leadership courses, and so forth. And so my family company is a retail company. It's the sort of fuzzy logo, sorry about that, that is in the middle of the screen. We're a hardware and industrial supply company. We have 7 locations in the Southeast Texas area, about 250 employees. We're certainly not a huge company, but in the mom and pop world, we're a good sized company. My MBA made me a much better leader, a much better CEO, a much better president than I otherwise would have been. It made me a better analyst. It made me a better decision maker in my early career stage, which is when I took my MBA. It gave me more confidence in my ability to do my job and help build my competence with respect to my skills to do that job. And my MBA opened a number of doors for me. So just quickly, all these other companies that that I have on the list, Lamar being the exception at the bottom, are companies I've been involved in as a board member. So I've been involved in corporate governance in a technology company in Silicon Valley, going from upper left, to a publicly traded bank, that's the one on the bottom left, to a hardware distribution company, that's on the top right, to two big healthcare organizations. And my MBA is part of what got me where I am in life, and certainly in my career. And I just, want to tell you, I owe a debt to Lamar University that I will never fully repay, and to my MBA program. It meant that much to me, and I'm so glad to be doing what I'm doing now. Okay, so I told you a little bit about what my MBA meant for me. I want to talk a little bit about what it means for you. Okay, so if you're looking at a graduate business program, an MBA specifically, no matter where you look at it, what are your big takeaways? Well, those are the ones on the slide. So the degree is very prestigious. So the MBA, arguably, at least I'll make the argument, it's the most prestigious graduate degree there is, bar none. Certainly the industry recognizes it as a very prestigious degree. The second thing is it's portable. Okay, so whether you own your own company like I was fortunate enough to do, or you work at ExxonMobil, or you run a nonprofit, or you work in healthcare, or you change jobs over your career, or you're not sure what industry you want to work in your career, the MBA just really, it travels really, really well. Okay. And third is the salary premium that an MBA commands. Okay. MBA graduate business folks as a group command a much higher salary premium than any four-year undergraduate degree generally does, and greater than many graduate degrees do. I'm going to show you some data on that. But before I do, I want to tell you what, I'm in the business community. I'm still involved, as you guys can see, in not only my family company, but as a board member in a number of companies, to right now mainly healthcare oriented. But here's what talent management professionals are saying, right, about the future. That they're saying that there is soon to be an unprecedented demand for management talent, driven by three things. If you've ever taken economics, you've probably heard the acronym GDP, gross domestic product. Well, that's not what our GDP means for this discussion. Our GDP means globalization, demographics, and proximity. And how does that drive demand for management talent? We have capitalism across the globe thriving in even non-democratic countries. And so that creates demand for management talent. We have demographics. So most people running companies today, well, they look like me, and so, and that's not just in the United States, it's all over the world. If you look at people in leadership positions in companies, they look a lot like me. They're in my career stage. Behind my career stage, I'm referred to as a baby boomer. There's a very thin pipeline. And again, this is not just the United States, all over the world, but all over the world. A thin pipeline of Generation Xers. And then behind them is a huge population of, millennials, Gen Z emerging. And so globalization's driving this, will drive this unprecedented demand for management talent. Demographics will drive this unprecedented demand for management talent, because my group is not going to stay in the workforce that much longer. And then proximity. There's so many places in the world that business could thrive, and lack of management talent is the ingredient. Now, I understand with COVID-19, some of these things I just told you are being sort of challenged or questioned. I think for the most part, they're still going to be true going forward. And it's a great time to consider business school. I don't think you could be considering it at a better time, right, than now, right? All right, so I promised you guys a little bit of data. This is dated data. I apologize for that. I'm trying to find something more current, but I still think this is relevant. This is a 29 to 2012 survey done by GMAC. Now, GMAC is the industry group for graduate business programs. So GMAC stands for Graduate Management Admissions Council, and they're the industry group for graduate business programs across the world. And they do a lot of surveys. And so This particular survey is a corporate recruiter survey. This was a US-based survey, and they asked corporate recruiters, now again, this is back in 2012, hey, what do you expect to pay an MBA over a four-year undergrad or over a specialized master's person, okay? And again, if you look at, I'd say 2012, it's 29 through 2012. And so, and again, this data is dated, but in a relative sense, it's still mostly true. I can't say it's exactly true to the exact percentage, but if you look at what corporate recruit, now these are people that hire folks. What do you expect to pay a four-year undergrad? On the average, this is national, a little under 50,000. What do you expect to pay a person with a specialized master's? A little under 70,000. What do you expect to pay an MBA? $90,000. Now, if you live close to Lamar, you live in Southeast Texas, you live in Texas, which most of our students do, there are regional differences, right? Our cost of living is lower, our dollars may be smaller because this is a national average, but that's an 80% salary premium for an MBA over a bachelor's degree. So I just want to challenge you guys early on to think about the number of working years you have left in your life, okay? The salary, if these numbers are even close to what you could command, the salary premium an MBA can command, all right? The shockingly affordable, that you'll soon find out, cost at Lamar University to do the MBA, and the shockingly quick time in which you can complete it. As long as you have the desire, an MBA is a no-brainer for you, okay? So here's a little more current data, all right? So this particular survey is an alumni survey. So MBA programs across the country, including ours, we send surveys out to our alumni and we ask them to tell us what career stage they're in and how much money they're making, okay? So again, it's another way to illustrate the data. All right, again, this is more current. This is 2017 data. And entry level, 63.9, mid-career stage, 100,000. Now, that's base, right? If you look at the gray bar, that's additional compensation. Senior level, 140 plus additional compensation, a little under 180, and so forth, okay? So, again, just to make a case and support it with data with respect to the salary premium that MBAs can command over time and do with that degree. So again, your three takeaways are the prestige of the degree, the portability of it, and the salary premium it can command, okay? So a little bit about Lamar, okay? So we're a fully accredited AACSB school. AACSB accreditation is the top tier accreditation for business schools. If you look at us collectively, along with other AACSB schools, we represent the top 15% of business schools in the world. We've been ranked pretty high by a number of publications that look at our industry and rank programs. We're almost always in the top 300 in Princeton. Our online programs are highly recognized. Our healthcare program, for example, has gone as high as 28, the MBA with the healthcare concentration. There's a recent, I think about a year ago, a institute called Online College Plan rated us at number 19 in terms of the quality of what we deliver and what we charge for it and other factors. So definitely a top tier regional business school that has regional and farther reaching over time recognition. That's Lamar University, okay? So a few things about our program. We're designed to accommodate working professionals. So we're designed to build school around modern life. We're designed to fit school around life and work. If you want to proceed quickly, time to completion is very important for many graduate students. You can get out in as little as 12 months. If you don't want to go that quick, there's no pressure. The maximum length of time that you can do a graduate degree at Lamar without having things recertified is 6 years. So between 12 months and 6 years, we build a plan for everyone that works that is able to complete it. Most of our students, well, I'll say this, few of our students are here more than 2 years. Even those students are usually taking one course at a time. The shockingly affordable part is tuition cost under $14,000 if you're in state. And so if you look at Lamar's accreditation, quality, reputation, and you look at the price Lamar charges, one of the lowest costs out there for accredited programs, all right? What else do we offer? Lots of personal attention. We have a full-time coordinator that's job is to assist our MBA students with any and all needs they have. If you're an on-campus hybrid student, you do not see an academic advisor, you see me. So as director, I guide every student through our on-campus program. If you're out of the market and you're fully online and you're not proximate to Lamar, we have an excellent advisor that specializes in servicing that student population. Our student to faculty ratio for face-to-face classes is very, very low, lots of personal attention. Because we're an AACSB accredited school, who teaches you matters, so they either have to have a PhD in their field, or they have to have an MBA with advancing professional experience. And it can't be like, for me, for example, I don't have a PhD, but I have an MBA in advancing professional experience. And for me to qualify to teach, it can't be just what I've done in my past. It's got to be what I've done in my past and I continue to do. What's the latest, greatest things happening in business? So for PhDs, that's more in the research area. For me, it's more staying current on what is going on in the business world. That applies to everyone on our faculty, okay? Collaborative learning, we have a very diverse student population. So just to use our own campus as an example, about 60% of our students are up and coming early to mid-career stage professionals. They're not seeking work. They're looking to advance in the work they're in. About 25 to 30% of our students are international. So in almost any given class you sit in our campus program, you got at least a half a dozen countries represented. That gives us that global context that's so rewarding in a graduate program. And then we have about 10 to 15% of our students that don't have a lot of work experience, but they go from undergrad into grad. So we do have a unified program in that way, but they're our better students. Okay, so that mix gives us a really good mix of folks to learn and share, whether it's in an online context or face-to-face context. Here's a sample of an MBA degree plan. All right, so I thought I'd just spend a minute showing you guys what it looks like. An MBA degree plan has 3 boxes. The top left box relates to non-business undergraduates. And by the way, if you do not have a business undergraduate degree, the MBA is really designed for you. It always has been a degree that's really designed for folks with an undergraduate discipline, non-business, to get their business education at the graduate level. Now, many of our students, I'd be an example of that, come out of undergraduate business into a graduate business program. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just want to make sure that if you are not a business undergrad, you're very comfortable knowing that the MBA is designed very specifically for you. Now, so is that top left box. There's a couple of leveling courses that you'll take that we feel like you need a foundation for before you take graduate level work. And they are, in that top left box, accounting, financial accounting foundations, and the Finance 5300 is fundamentals of economic and finance. Those are the 2 leveling courses that we require from non-business undergraduates, okay? The top right box is the MBA core, right? So all MBAs take the core. If you look down that list, you'll see at least 7 courses. There's actually more listed than that. The descriptions of those courses are on the right on this slide. And if you'll notice from the course titles, I think it's important to know, remember I talked about the unprecedented demand for management talent. The MBA is a management degree. Right? It just is. By nature, by flavor, it is a management degree. So your core classes are going to be very managerial in nature. managerial accounting, international business, managerial economics. I put financial management there, but really the course title is managerial finance, marketing management, managerial decision-making, strategic management, and so forth. All right, so remember, better analyst, better decision maker, more confidence, greater competence. All right, that's what the MBA is all about. Now, your degree is going to say MBA on it. It's going to say Master of Business Administration. It's not going to say in this example MBA in Finance. So if you're looking for an MBA in Finance, we offer an MBA, all right? We offer a concentration in finance. We offer a number of concentrations. I'll show you that list, but I think it's important to establish that our degree is MBA, but we do allow you to choose an area of focus, right, that will serve your or support your career direction or satisfy your learning curiosity. So this is an example of one in finance. So if you look at our 3 boxes again, top left box is leveling, top right box is core. All MBAs take the core, only non-business undergrads take the leveling. Bottom right box is the concentration that you choose. And there are a number of them, and here's the list, okay? Finance being one, leadership, service marketing and management, experiential business and entrepreneurship. Thematic just means we create a theme among classes. We pick classes that you like, we create your own theme. Construction project management, marketing, data analytics, enterprise resource planning, management information systems, business analytics, healthcare admin, management, criminal justice management, port management, and general. And so those are our concentration choices, all right? And I told you guys that you couldn't be applying or considering an MBA program at a better time for a number of reasons. Well, here's one more. We have a limited time offer because of the difficulty getting into admissions testing centers. We're actually waiving the graduate management admissions test for summer and fall applicants because of COVID-19 and the difficulty getting into a testing center. So to be admitted into the MBA at Lamar University has never been more admissions friendly, right? A 2.5 GPA from an accredited university, cumulative or last 60 hours will get you admitted into our program. There's also some dual degree opportunities. So we offer, without going into a lot of detail, we do offer dual degrees with accounting. So that's MBA, MSA, and our Master of Science in Management Information Systems. Right? So this allows students to get these degrees with about 12 fewer hours than they could be taken separately. So we do offer those options for you if you're interested in either accounting or MISI. Dual degree options are available. I want to spend just a little bit of time before we wrap up here and answer questions. Benefits of on-campus and hybrid program for on-campus hybrid program for regional students. So if you are proximate to Lamar, this is for you. Remember, I said we're a night and online program built to accommodate working professionals. So our face-to-face classes are 2 nights a week for 8 weeks. They are 3 hours in duration. We're in 8-week blocks. So if your undergraduate experience was more traditional and you had a long semester fall and a long semester spring and 2 short summer semesters like Lamar does undergrad, we're a little bit the opposite. We have 8-week blocks. And so we have a fall 1, fall 2, spring 1, spring 2, and summer with rolling admission. And so we put you into a block and we kind of move you from there at a pace that's acceptable for you. We're designed to take 1 or 2 courses at a time. And again, for face-to-face classes, 2 nights a week, 5:30 to 8:30, with a 15-minute break. And our students really like the in-class experience. And one reason they do is if you think about your undergraduate experience, for most of us, when we're in undergraduate school, most of the expertise is at the front of the room. It's the instructor or the professor. When you're in a class where many of the people, including our international folks, have a fair amount of work experience, then the experience is all over the room. So not only do you learn from the professor, but you teach back through your own frame of reference, and so do others. So face-to-face classes, very popular, very good experience here, okay? We've been doing online for a long time, and we know how to do that well as well, okay? If you come in as an on-campus / hybrid student, I want you to know that that is a mix of on-campus and online classes or exclusively online. All right, so if you decide to apply for the on-campus hybrid program, you can take everything you want to online, okay? We have more course offerings than the exclusive online program does. We have smaller class sizes face-to-face. So for example, let's just say your undergraduate degree is in fine arts, or it's in education, or it's in communications, which may be part of fine arts, where depending on where you went, or it's general studies, and you didn't have a lot of quantitative classes. You don't have, I mean, accounting may scare you, finance may scare you, managerial econ may scare you a little bit. Face-to-face classes can benefit you with respect to having a professor, right, that you can ask questions of, and having a smaller class size. So you have more curriculum choices, smaller face-to-face class sizes, lots of personal attention that go along with that, including advising, the experiential learning model that I explained, right? Give teaching back through your own frame of reference and other people doing the same. We allow internships on our campus program, and we have scholarship opportunities that are not afforded to students that go into the exclusively online program that we have at Lamar, right? And I've got a little bullet there, it's slightly higher without scholarship. There are a couple of options to take the MBA. So if you're not proximate to Lamar and you take the MBA through our partner called Academic Partnerships, and you're taking courses from Lamar, but we actually have a partner that manages our recruits and manages our students that are outside of the area, then those students do not get scholarship from our college because they are offered some discounts, and fees don't apply that apply to some of our own campus students. So if you get the scholarship, that more than compensates for the price differential. And if you're interested, I can explain that more. But if you don't have a scholarship, it may be slightly higher for you to come to campus depending on how many face-to-face classes you take. Okay? All right, so that's an overview of the MBA. Thank you for your attention. I'll let Stephanie tell me if there's any questions that came up. I appreciate you guys' attention and time.
Mr. Dyson, let me tell you, you came with all the numbers. I love it. You came with the graphs and the numbers. I love it. A lot of times students ask me, like, what are the benefits? And they want me to go to, a lot of students will ask questions about the in-demand and job placement and all that kind of stuff. What are the salaries? And you really just hit it head on as far as your graphs and the salary breakdown. So I really appreciate that. You have made my job a lot easier. So we do have some questions. We have quite a bit. And a lot of them were sent to me through the personal chat channel. Okay, let's try this one. Do you all take transfer credit?
Yes, we do. We'll take up to 6 hours of transfer. So if you've got hours in another graduate program and you have B's or better, they will transfer. The Lamar Graduate Catalog will allow us to transfer up to 6 hours.
Okay. How do you have to be a full-time student? So I'm assuming they're saying, like, maybe can they take one class per 8 weeks or one class per some, do you have to be full-time each time?
That's a great question. So, you know, there are MBA programs out there that require cohorts and everybody goes through at the same pace and you stay together, and that's got some benefits. Ours doesn't do that. We're a unified program. And I've found, and I firmly believe, every student has their own pace that they need to establish when going through a graduate program. We're all dealing with modern life challenges. And so the answer is yes, you can be part-time. You can take 1 or 2 classes at a time. One of the reasons that we went to 8-week blocks is that we often had a student that would lose a full semester because they had a turnaround project at work, or they had a new family member come in, or they had to travel. And then even with online, they just couldn't do school in that block. And so we found when they lost an entire semester, sometimes it's hard for them to get restarted. So the 8-week blocks that we went to are very user-friendly. And I'm confident that we can establish a pace that works for everybody. I haven't failed in that yet that I know of.
Okay. And like I said, we do have a lot of questions. So let me just say, if we can't get to all your questions, what we can do is you can email them directly to me or to Mr. Dyson, and he has his information there, and we will get you answers to all your questions. But we have about, I think at one point I counted 79 people in the chat. So questions are just kind of coming in. So let's see. I will try my best to get to all questions. Any success stories with this program?
Well, I told you mine. My son just got MBA in construction project management. He's a project manager for a big piling and marine company. My other son runs our family company, and I think they would all tell you that Lamar has prepared them very well to excel in their fields professionally. We have a big engineering school here. If you're familiar with Lamar, you probably know this. If you're not, then maybe you're hearing it for the first time. And so a lot of folks that go through our program come out of our engineering school, go out into industry. And to use engineers as an example, they usually kind of take two paths. One is, hey, I'm a smart person with a good degree, and I got a really high paying job, and I'm going to be an individual contributor, and I'm going to create value and innovate, and that's who I'm going to be. But many of them over time decide, I want to move up in the organization. I want to run something. And that means I just can't do that without getting things done through other people. I need the business background. I need management. And they come into our MBA, and you see those folks just blossom, to use that group as an example. And when I run into them, as alumni, they tell me great stories about our program. And I'm always asking them, what do you wish you'd had more of? And almost everyone says, HR, HR, HR. And what they really mean is, people are the limiting factor in everything I'm trying to do. I would just really wish that I had gotten more course content in that area, but what I got really helped me a lot. So there's a lot of success stories out there for our graduates.
Okay. Let's see. Does coursework typically require team assignments?
That's a great question. Yeah, you're gonna do some stuff in teams. Yeah, here, and it depends on the class. There's quite a bit of group work. It depends on the class and depends on the professor. And I can tell you, having taught online and face to face, group work is great in graduate school because of who you're in class with. All right, because again, you're in class with up and coming professionals that are emerging in their career, and they're very serious about school, and they're very serious about their work, and they want to get better at it. So they're great teammates. And so we have learned how to do it online effectively. It's easier to do it in class, but think about the global nature of business. That's one of the things that we've learned online. We work in a world that is, especially now, not as physically connected as it used to be. And so we've got to learn to collaborate and work well in a team environment, even if it's just digitally. So the answer is yes. And we like that.
Okay. And like I said, we have several students in the chat. We have international students that have joined us. We have students that are current Lamar undergraduate students that may be looking for the MBA in the future within the next 1 or 2 years. We have students that have simply just, requested information about the MBA program. We also have students that have applied for the program and maybe didn't complete the application, and they're here joining us now getting more information. So a lot of our questions are going to kind of be from everywhere. So bear with me. Let's see. What makes your program different from I think that's a good question. What makes your program different from anyone else's?
Well, I feel qualified to answer that question because I go to the industry conferences every year and kind of compare what we're doing to other programs. And I would say this. I think time to completion is really important, and I think we really stand out in that area. We've worked really hard to build a program where people can get through quickly, and most folks need to do that. I don't necessarily encourage that. I think the slower you go, the more the learning sticks, the more people you meet. But I understand modern life, right, for the early to mid-career stage professional, and I think we built a program that does a good job there. The concentrations we have, many of them are unique, and students will come to us because we offer a concentration in an area that other folks don't offer. The value proposition that Lamar has, cost versus quality, and for an accredited school, it's hard to find anyone that can deliver what we deliver for what we deliver it for. So our faculty, Lamar is actually a global leader in the delivery of digital content. Lamar was the first mover as a university in that space, and so business schools got involved in that almost 10 years now. Our faculty really knows how to do the online stuff. They've got a lot of experience there. That's important. And you have folks here that have been here a while, know how to do what they're doing. Our students like our program, and they recommend it to others.
Do leveling courses extend the length of the MBA program? Like, I guess.
Yes, they will. I mean, generally by about, for the student that goes through as the program is structured, that's an additional 8 weeks. Because remember, you're taking 1 or 2 courses at a time, 8-week blocks. And so if you think about taking those 2 courses together, and you may or may not want to do that, but basically that's another block. That's another 8 weeks for most students.
Does not taking the GMAT right now affect our financial aid or grants? So I'm assuming that maybe that would does it affect, I know you mentioned earlier about scholarships. So would not taking the GMAT possibly affect their opportunity to gain one of the MBA scholarships?
That's a great question. So the answer is it would not affect negatively your financial aid because you're going to be fully admitted, all right? So you won't be post-back or anything like. You're going to be fully admitted as if you'd taken the GMAT and met our formula. As long as you have a 2.5 or better, you're admitted, all right? Now, we have a graduate studies scholarship, and I'm glad you brought that up. If you have a 3.0 or better undergraduate GPA, cumulative or last 60 hours, we will put you on the graduate studies scholarship. That's university money that will give you $2,000, okay, for a year. All right. Now, the third tier of money does require a GMAT. There is I think in almost every university, Lamar certainly is this way. Undergraduate scholarship money is generous. Graduate scholarship money is not so generous. It's pretty stingy because most donors, they're going to fund undergraduate folks that need to get through school. They're not going to come fund graduate folks. Same thing here. But we do have a small pool of money that we award based on the formula of GPA and GMAT score, right? Those rewards generally run $750 to $1,500 a year. So again, they're modest, but yes, if you took the GMAT and you did well, you would be eligible to apply for that pool of extra money, which again runs from about $750 a year to $1,500 a year. So I guess to go through that again quickly, would not affect your financial aid status, not having taken the GMAT. If you've got the GPA of 3.0 or more, we can put you on graduate study scholarship. Now you got to stay full-time for that. And full-time in graduate school is 9 hours. And if you want the discretionary money, right, that we award once a year, you would need to have a GMAT for us to be able to compute the formula, because those are competitive.
Okay. And also to piggyback off the scholarship information, if you are currently an undergraduate LU student and you plan to pursue a graduate program with Lamar, I actually manage the Continuing Cardinal Scholarship, which is a $2,000 scholarship, and that I personally manage, and we do it to help students, undergraduate students, transition into our graduate programs. You do need at least a 3.0 GPA. You do have to be in the campus-based program as as Mr. Dyson mentioned, you can't be in one of the 100% online programs through the academic partnerships. And you have to start that graduate program within 2 semesters of graduating. So if you just graduated in May, you would either need to start in summer or fall. But, and I'll have more information about that as well. I know a lot of our current students have probably seen me blow up their emails with that information as well. Mr. Dyson, we got a whole lot of questions. I'm trying to make my way through here. Can you give examples of internship placements?
Sure. So internships are, if we have a student that doesn't have a lot of work experience and comes into our program, because again, remember, most of our folks are not seeking work, they're looking to advance in the work they're in. They're not looking for internships. But for folks that need them, that come into a graduate program without a lot of work experience, internship can be very, very, very important for them. So internships at Lamar come in usually one of, I guess, about 3 ways. Employer comes to the program and says, I need an intern, and we put that out. Employer comes to a career center, which just so happens the Career Center for Lamar University is housed in the College of Business, and says, I need an intern. And the Career Center posts it, and one of our MBA students sees it, applies for it, gets it. Okay? Or again, since most of our folks are up-and-coming working professionals, I've seen a number of internships get catalyzed in class. You meet somebody else, you're working on a team, they see the value, you let them know you're looking for an internship. They've got a management position or some influence, and an internship happens, okay? What doesn't happen in Lamar, in fairness to that question, it's a great question, all right? What makes Lamar different? If you go to a flagship school in a major market and you pay quite a bit more tuition, and you're in a market where that university has big employers all around them, they're going to have a better internship program than Lamar does. They just are, right? So I would not classify our internships as anything close to what a flagship university in a major market that's charging much more tuition to fund a world-class career center can do for you. But we encourage them. We put them together when we can. A lot of them come from the student doing their own work to get their internship, or the limited employers that come to us are in class, right? That's a great question.
Okay. I applied for I think I applied for the 100% online program because it said online degree when I applied. How do I switch over to the campus-based program? Because it seems like there's a lot of incentives for that.
Yeah, all you need to do is, my email address is on the slide there. You can email the MBA office email address or email me and just tell us that you want to switch or talk about switching. And it's pretty seamless. I mean, I direct both programs, and I'm here to help students in both programs. If a student is regionally proximate to Lamar, they should really talk to me about on-campus options and what those have to offer you, depending on what your needs are.
And to go along with that too, you can also email me as well. My email address is sbroussard11@lamar.edu. And if you're confident that you do want to switch over, that's nothing but sending me an email. Say I want to switch over to the on-campus or the campus-based program, and we can get it done within 24 hours. So that's no problem. Actually, we have that question on here like twice. So let me work my way down. More research-based or more team simulate. Is Lamar MBA's program more research and essay-based, or is it more team simulation-based?
That's a great question. So I guess I'll answer it this way. You know, many years ago when I did my MBA, we did a thesis, we wrote a lot of formal papers. It was almost a PhD preparation program in that context of it. I learned a lot. I didn't apply it so much. So for that piece, the thesis piece, if you will. So most MBA programs like ours have gotten away from that and more into what is professional application. So what's going on in business right now? What's going to make me a better decision maker, a better leader? What are my challenges? So, you know, in many of your MBA classes, you know, you're going to tee up a topic, a modern day topic with respect to financial challenges of a business, marketing challenges of a business, the challenges in the economy related to business. You're going to support that with an exercise or some content or a short lecture. You're going to talk about it with other students and, well, hey, what's showing up for you in your life and your work when we think about this topic, and you kind of report out. So the best classes we have, and they're not all this way, but the best classes we have, they're very experiential with respect to heavily discussion based, very, very current, and you know, to the moment, to the day examples of how the class content that's being discussed and covered relates to the challenges, the management challenges that people are facing at work that are in that class.
I'm going to do probably about 4 more questions if I can, because I want to be mindful of everyone's time. Are there any plans to offer an MBA with an HR management concentration?
Yes, I'm working on that right now. I'm working with Society for Human Resource Management to build an HR concentration and get it SHRM certified. So I think you'll see that coming pretty soon. I'm really behind schedule on it because of the whole COVID-19, having trouble getting people to meet and move stuff forward, not just within our organization, but the SHRM as well. So it's slowed down a little bit, sadly, but I'm thinking 2021 will be my year to get that officially done and approved.
Another question. Oh, I'm sorry. Another question is, are there career fairs at Lamar that will help us get with a company? And actually, yes, Lamar University does offer a series of different career fairs. They have different like program specific fairs. There's criminal justice fairs that I have met quite a bit of business students at who are looking to get into like federal jobs, and they had a business degree and they would go to the criminal justice fairs. There's general career fairs. So yeah, there's usually a lot of things going on, but per our current circumstances, we'll probably be doing live and virtual events from here on until we get the clearance to be 100% on
right.
campus.
Yeah, and I'll back that up too, Stephanie. I think again, it's a bit like the internships. We do not regionally, we do not have a critical mass of graduate students looking for work. Right? We have a really good sized graduate program, but most of our students are employed. So to attract employers, you need a critical mass of graduate students looking for work. So what we do is kind of what Stephanie said, is we attach our graduate students to the career fairs that are happening for undergrads, and they benefit from that. But I want to make sure that we're not being misleading in terms of just, hey, that's not a strength of Lamar because of the nature of our program, where we are, right, what we charge, and so forth. So of all the things we do great, and I hope you know, I think we do a lot of things great, that's one that we just have to work really hard in that area to make it happen for the student. And often we do.
Okay, who do I contact if I want to pursue a dual MBA? So I guess what you mentioned, the MSA and the MBA, would that still be you? Or would it be a combination of the two directors?
If it's MSA, MBA, then we do accounting first, and then we build around accounting. Accounting has very strict guidelines for their masters. So we kind of build the MBA around the accounting. If it's the Master of Science in Management Information Systems, then I mostly do that with the student. So either way, I'm working with you. But if it's accounting, I'll let accounting take the lead, and we build the MBA around it.
Okay, and this is going to be our last question. And like I said, we still have a few. And I please encourage you, if you don't mind, just, go over to your email right now real quick, and then just copy and paste your question and just shoot it directly to us, and we'll get it answered. If you send it to me, then I'll forward it to him. If it's something that I can answer, I'll answer it for you. But we do want to get all your questions answered. And based off how many students we have in our session, there's just a lot of questions. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. The last question I'm going to look into, or I'm going to look at, is how do I apply? Okay, so how do I apply? You would go to Apply Texas, applytexas.org, and you would create your profile, and I actually have a video attached to my email address. It kind of walks you through the whole graduate application process for whatever program you're applying for. You would select the MBA If you do, and I'm pretty sure that this is correct, you're not going to see all those different concentrations in the Applied Texas application. You're just going to select the MBA Business Administration. And as you get to the advising part, that's when you'll be able to select your concentration. And then you pretty much just complete the application. Make sure that you put all of your previous institutions in there so that we can collect all those transcripts. Currently, we are taking unofficial transcripts in order to render a decision to students. But in order to get enrolled, we do need those official transcripts. And then once you've gone through the admissions process, and you'll hit the enrollment process, and that's when you'll hit Mr. Dyson and his team. Jana is very good. She's a coordinator. She pretty much walks students through the whole process as well. If you are one of those students that are applying for the on-campus program, then I pretty much kind of see you through the whole way as well. If you are a student that's going for the 100% online, there's a different staff, as he mentioned earlier, that kind of holds students' hands through that process. And since that our online audience is a lot bigger, they have a lot more staff to accommodate those students. So you want to try to do one more question?
You bet.
Okay, let's do one more, because I see this one. There's a lot of questions about leveling courses. Well, I think you might have answered this one. Do leveling courses have to be taken before courses begin, or can those be taken with the core courses?
That's a good question. We can remember we had those 3 boxes in the MBA degree plan. Let me get those back real quick. So we can work in all 3 boxes, all right, simultaneously. So you do not have to take leveling before you take anything else. Now, those 2 leveling courses, accounting and finance, are prerequisites for the core courses on the opposite side. So in other words, the only restriction we have with leveling is we can't take accounting 5370 in the core. That's the top class on the top right. Okay, we can't take 5370 accounting without having had 5315 accounting. We can't take finance 5310 in the core box without having finance 5300, and we can't take econ 5370 without finance 5300. But we can take anything else in the top right box or the bottom right box other than accounting, econ, and finance until the equivalent leveling prereq is satisfied.
And just one more question. Do you have a lot of your, do a lot of your undergraduate students matriculate into your graduate programs?
We have a fair amount. I'd say from undergrad into grad is probably about 15% of our total.
That's great. So hopefully those students be mindful of that continuing Cardinal Scholarship so that we can help transition you over. Easy $2,000 to get you going. Oh, what was that? All right. So I do appreciate everyone for attending today. This has been a wonderful session, and I do appreciate you, Mr. Dyson. Thank you so much. You'll probably already start getting some questions to your email, and if I get any, and if I can't answer them, I'm going to send them straight to you. I do thank everyone for joining us. Thank you for sharing your time with us. This session is going to be recorded, and it should be on our website, on our visitor page, probably towards the end of the week. I am also working with our recruitment manager to actually send out this our video to everyone that attended today. So if you are not able to find it on our visitor page, then you can email me. I can shoot it to you, but you'll probably also get it in your email. Please be mindful. We have a whole lot of different social media things. Forgive me, I'm over 30, so I don't know them all, but follow Lamar U Admissions on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. We have a whole bunch of those. So please make sure you follow us, because there's a lot of updates on there. And like I said, I do a series of these graduate program sessions, and I have different directors come in and kind of share information about their programs. Next week, we have chemical engineering. It's going to be June 1st at 2 o'clock. The following week on the 8th is going to be public administration at 2 o'clock. My stuff is usually on Mondays. Today we did it on a Tuesday because of Memorial Day. And on the 15th, we have industrial engineering. So if you know of anyone interested in those, please feel free to join us for that, and I'll be sending out information for that. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you, Mr. Dyson. I'm going to keep the session on for a few more minutes, just so that people can drop their emails in the little chat, and I can send them to you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Dyson.
My pleasure.